it is just cold enough that I need a sweater or something. In Orlando, at least. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're having a stunning one out there. Maybe a beautiful day like it is right now. It's crisp, it's cool, it's clear, and we're feeling good. And I hope that you guys are as well as we engage, get into a full album reaction. Misery is a Butterfly is what we're going to be checking out today by Blonde Redhead. The album was released in 2004, their sixth studio album. We're listening to this full album because it was recommended and sponsored by Allwise. Thank you so much for the over-the-top support with this. I am excited to dive into this one. Thank you so much for the recommendation. Really appreciate that. And you've been a very long time watcher, that for sure I know as well. So really appreciate it. I see that this the band, not necessarily the album, but the band had also been recommended by Mr. Crew Crush in 95. I believe it's in Greek, the name, Hob something, I may be mispronouncing this. And I-O-I-N-I, I can't even say that, but you guys have mentioned the band as well. Now, on one hand, I would say that I've never heard of this band except via the comments and you guys, and that I haven't heard anything from this album. Now, what you don't know is I actually recorded the title track, Misery is a Butterfly, to this album. It just hasn't come out yet. I actually had that track scheduled for right now it's the 31st I'm recording this. I had it scheduled for like mid-November, so like in about a week or two. And it just so happened that LY sponsored this album. So that's kind of funny. So what I'm going to do is Misery is a Butterfly, the actual title track, is the fifth track here on the album. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to, the first four songs as normal. And then I'm actually going to edit this video and insert that reaction that I recorded and put it into this video. So that way you guys still see my first reaction to that song, Misery is a Butterfly, which I really think it's funny how that just kind of lined up. So you will see a little bit of an edit when we get there, but that way you guys can see my actual first reaction and you guys can see what that reaction would have been on that day. So anyways, that's the intro. I hope that you guys are doing well. I'm looking forward to diving into this album. You'll see my thoughts on the title track when we edit the video and toss it in there. But for now, let's start at the beginning. Let's pull everything up to the first track here, Elephant Woman. And of course, to celebrate, to dive in, it is nice and chilly in here. This is the second day that it's actually been cold. It's been cooling down, but this is the second day that it's actually been cold. Love it. I love cold weather. Listen, this hot cup of coffee, soon, maybe we'll put in some cocoa another time. This is the exciting time for me. So I'm excited to dive into this. I hope that you guys are as well. Let me get the plugs out the way. Of course, you can sponsor song reactions and such, just like Elwise did over on the Buy Me a Coffee page. Patreon's there for exclusive content, etc., etc. Like and subscribe. That's it. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's go ahead and get into it with the first track, Elephant Woman. And as always, this sip of freshly brewed coffee is to you. It's hot when you hold it like that. Relax. Let's enjoy the music. Here we go. Opening drum fill into this dance. percussion is wonderful. Okay, that's a stunning opener to this album. That is a brilliant opener, and different from the title track. That is sweeping with the strings, dramatic in its themes, and how the music all encompasses around her voice. I think it's like just very interesting. This direction, the percussion is ecstatic. Let me pull up the band list here really quick, because I thought that intro with the percussion when that came in was fantastic. Simone Pace, credited with percussion, drums, electronics, programming, and etc. Let's go back to that intro really quick, just to get that little drum fill, that little percussive fill that launches you in. It's quick, it's energetic, it's strong, and then the groove of which it leads itself into is filled with mystery, hauntingly beautiful, of course, led by the lead singer, Kazumi Kino. Let me just pull that up here really quick. Right there. Okay. Isn't that just such a cool, subtly thumpy and bassy, filled with depth drum fill, or maybe it's not even a fill, more of an intro. And I like how the rhythm that comes in after almost has nothing to do with that intro. Like the drums that come in after, it doesn't even follow that pattern exactly. It's just kind of like a quick thrill. I'm focusing a lot on the percussion, but I just thought it was so interesting throughout this track. And I love it. I love how it's not, maybe a typical drum set. I love how it is a little bit more, on the lower end of the spectrum in that regard. It's a little more subtle in its approach, a little more rustic, maybe is a good word to use. Maybe bringing a folk element into this. Whereas the rest of the music is, like I said, very symphonic in a certain way. It's very orchestrated, it's dramatic, and it flows absolutely wonderfully with the music here. Kazuma Kino, okay, her voice, it's high pitched, slightly whispery to an extent, not whispery, but like a pitchy whispery, I would say. And I mean this in a good way because she sounds not where I would put her in like a high ethereal kind of sound, not like Harriet from Sundays, but there's still a certain dreaminess to her and to the way that she sings. There's also, I would argue, a certain kind of earthiness, maybe not in tone, like in depth, like not in a low register, but there is something very human, perhaps, about the way that she sings here, but still capturing that dreamy nature and soundscape as she kind of mixes in with the music. The guitar playing, Amadeo Pace as well. He's handling some of the vocals, guitar, baritone guitar. They're all kind of doing they're all multi-instrumentalists in what they're doing. And I love the guitar playing here. The moment, I wish I looked at the time that it happened. There's a moment when the music's, it's building up. Well, not building up. It is already built up. And it's grand. But then it kind of comes down a little bit. And the chords kind of change. And the guitar is a big part of that. When that happens, I just wish I knew exactly when that happens. Here, it's right. And also, once again, just leading to the percussion again, you hear how raw that other sound of the percussion is? I couldn't say exactly what it is, but the bung bung, like you hear some of that in the back. Let's see this little guitar melody. It's so like hauntingly beautiful, and that chord change kind of leads itself to something kind of gloomy and yet alluring. It kind of draws you in, moth to flame, perfectly captured there. There's something else I was going to say. Oh, not exactly what I'm going to say, but I would put this sound in a similar place, not exactly, but in a similar place, maybe on the same block, not on the same porch, but on the same block as like a Portishead or a Goldfrapp. I'm not overly familiar with Goldfrapp, so I can't speak exactly, but like it kind of treads those similar lanes. But this is very much unique unto themselves. And I really think that this is just a stunning opener. It just really quickly grabs your attention, pulls you in. And at least here in the first track, it does not let you go. Let's take a look at these lyrics. Let me pull those up here. Angel, I can see myself in your eyes. Angel, won't you feel for me from your heart? Do not return my heart to me. No, don't insist. I'm already hurt. Elephant girl, it was an accident, unfortunate. Angel threw me like a rubber man, aiming for the ground. Why amuse yourself in such a way? No, don't insist. I'm already hurt. Now, I couldn't help but see when I pulled up the lyrics that it says right here, in 2002, singer Kazuma Kino was trampled by her horse. Her facial bones were crushed, requiring complete surgical reconstruction. In the opening track, let me just bring it here. Still opening track, she's reflecting on the accident. The lyrics convey her feelings of betrayal at being hurt by something she loves, as well as her struggles with the injury. That's such a self-reflective and probably healing way for her to view the lyrics and view that accident that happened, right? She obviously loved horseback riding, and in a sense to be betrayed by something you love and to go through such a devastating tragedy and recovery. I think it's really reflective and creative of her to really bring that into the music here. So that happened in 2002. The album came out, 2 years later. Lay me down on the ground softly, softly. Don't remove my head. Hurts too much. You never return it. Well, I wouldn't miss it. I shed no tears for a broken me. You never know it, my peace of mind. Now inside and outside are matching. Let's look at that. Elephant Girl, it was an accident. Do you think the Elephant Girl is a reference to Elephant Man and how, Elephant Man, I don't know this story, but of course he had certain deformities on his face, and perhaps she's saying that she's like an elephant girl with the surgical reconstruction that she needed on her face and her head. Angel threw me like a rubber man. Angel, I'm assuming, is the name of the horse, aiming for the ground. Why amuse yourself in such a way? No, don't insist, I'm already hurt. Like, yeah, why did you choose this way to amuse yourself, to throw me to the ground? Lay me down on the ground softly. Don't remove my head. Hurts too much. I feel like that could be a few things. She could be speaking to the horse, like, could have laid me down softly, and don't remove my head, right? Or she could also be speaking to whoever probably came to her aid after. Like, as soon as the accident happened, she said, lay me down softly, or, don't be too rough with me. Don't remove my head. It hurts too much. Like, in a sense, like, fix me. This is what I'm trying to say. Fix me, heal me. This isn't the end. Don't remove my head. Don't end me. That's how I kind of read it. You never return it? Well, I wouldn't miss it. I shed no tears for broken me. You never know it, my peace of mind. Now inside and outside are matching. Is she saying that her feelings, her peace of mind inside was broken, and just as that is reflected now physically, it's broken? If you never return it, will it break your wings? Will you shed no tears for broken me? The horse is not going to shed tears. The horse probably doesn't even know exactly what happened. The horse isn't thinking in those terms. The horse is just horsing. So I have like wires I didn't realize were all like jumbled up over here. Okay, that's a brilliant first track. Let us move on into the next one here, which is going to be Messenger. It hits like the same colors as like a down-tempo trip-hop kind of sound, to an extent. It's nice roll on the snare. Pizzicato kind of string. Sigur Rós a little bit, or Jonesy. A little bit more of a quickness and an urgency to this track, rhythmically. That one kind of trails off of the previous track lead nicely. It kind of continues the same sound. I once again those little bits of, don't laugh at me. It's either guitar or keys. I couldn't say exactly. I am leaning more towards keys, but I could be wrong. That little melody that kind of just dances around, kind of in the light of this track, the ba 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 ba. Bum, bum, bum. There's something kind of urgently dramatic about it. Definitely helped by the rhythm, the shaker, and everything that kind of pushes it along. This track moves at kind of a quick pace. Not a quick pace, but there's definitely a sort of, not to be punny with the horse before, but like kind of a gallop to it, you know? And I think that that kind of catches you, like, I guess kind of like what I did before, like it's kind of pulling you in. So that, actually, that's a great way to describe it. It's really pulling you in even further into its kind of haunting, interesting kind of sound, kind of vortex. I think it's a great way to put it. I have a question, because the singing here is completely different from previously. So is this going to be the next singer, Amadeo Pace, singing on this track instead of Kazu? Because, I mean, like I said, it sounds completely different. And he sings kind of, if I'm correct, he sings kind of in a similar way of like Jonesy from Sigur Rós. I mentioned that during the song. He kind of sings almost like in that kind of back of the throat. Obviously, there's lyrics here, but almost in a wordless kind of way, very much more focused on the actual melody, but even less so on the strict lines of the melody. He is coloring outside the lines of the melodies. He's kind of singing in a very ethereal, kind of mystical nature. You know, instead of something so guided and so structured, he's kind of just allowing his vocal cords and his delivery to just kind of effortlessly flow like a wind throughout this track. And I think that that's kind of a cool approach. I would like to hear them. I'm sure we'll get it. Like, it'd be cool to hear them together, kind of these two different ways of approaching the vocals and how they kind of interact with each other. Because we had Kazu really on the first one, Amadeo on this one, I'm assuming, and then not really so much of them together. I want to hear a little bit more. I'm curious about that. And I am curious about one thing. I'm not going to show the video because I already got a copyright strike, and I'm not pulling up live video. I'm just pulling up the live video of the band playing this song because I would like to see how they perform and who's singing exactly. You'll hear it, but you're not going to see it. You might see a little bit. I might, like, you know, quickly kind of do a little bit. How do I full screen? Oh, it's my full screen button. It's loading. It's loading, but it's just not playing. I'm just waiting for it. I'm skipping. There you go. So, like, there he is, right? Here, this, at least from just that little bit, it's more direct, the way he's singing. It's not so atmospheric. So there she is on the keys at this particular point. And see, like, the percussion, like, yeah, he's playing a drum set. Where'd he go? But it's much more focused, yeah, on the percussion. He's a true percussionist. I love a percussionist that they truly have a great setup. Can we get a wide? Oh yeah, there we go. A little bit of wider shot. So he does have a traditional drum set. He just has a lot of stuff built around him as well. But I just think that works really well for their sound. It kind of keeps things at kind of a, I don't want to say a lower energy because that's not exactly what I'm getting at, but it just brings a subtlety, I think, to the music. It brings us some pressing wrong buttons. A subtlety to the music. That's what I'm trying to get at. Okay, so it was definitely him singing. I knew it was a different voice. I just wanted to make sure. Stay still. Do be still. No wonder you are always lost. If a messenger, I was lost on the keys, pressing everything, putting the intro up. If a messenger you must be known, then the messages you must return. To be seen by demanding hands and touches of jealous men. Invisible and forgivable to all their secret hands. Be it, so be quick. Don't run, just walk and walk and walk. Don't lose yourself to decorate somewhere on your wall, because somewhere in your mind, you know you're doing fine. Holding secret hair locks, you'll pluck before you hide. So how can I keep anything to myself? So how can I keep any of these things to myself? Behind those clouds, I'm almost home. I feel like this first stanza here is kind of giving us what we need to know, the information. Stay still. No wonder you're always lost. If a messenger must be known, then with messages must return. a messenger has messages. You must return with the messages. Like, okay, you're sending a message and you must return with some sort of reply, right? Like a marathon runner. To be seen by the many hands, just been invisible and forgivable to all their secret hands. Like all these jealous men are reaching, grabbing, demanding, of course, for this message. Whatever this message is that you have, they're trying to pull it from you, naturally. They're from their secret hands. Like you don't even know that they're taking it. And he says, so do it quick, but don't run. Walk, persevere. You don't have, endure. You don't have to be running and overexert yourself, but persevere in it. Don't lose yourself to decorate somewhere on your wall. Like, don't be so flashy. Somewhere in your mind, you know you're doing fine. Like through all this, through all the troubles, perhaps trauma, perhaps wrongs that are done to you, you know you're doing fine. Or perhaps the people that attempt to do wrongs to you. Hold yourself. There's a thought. Be at peace within yourself. You know you're doing fine. Don't worry about others and what they're trying to do to you. Is that kind of what I'm getting? So how can I keep anything to myself? Behind those clouds, I'm almost home. Like you're almost there. You got your message, whatever that may be. You have whatever you're holding and you're almost there. You just need to endure a little bit more. You don't need to overexert yourself. You're almost there. You're almost home. Just a little bit longer. It seems to be kind of a message of hope, a reaffirmation, and inspiration for perhaps when you're getting tired, you're weary in some capacity. Just a little bit longer. I think I'm hitting the mark. All right, let's move on to the next track here, which is Melody, which we've gotten quite a few of those. This is good, huh? It's still cold in here. God, I love the percussions. And the production on the percussion is lovely as well. So much room given to it. Love that rush at the end and beginning of the meter. those keys. The guitar and the strings strumming and riding each other right here, coming to a head. I mean, there may be a deeper reason behind it, but this track has to be named Melody just because the melodies are so incredibly strong. That little keyboard line, that is the vein throughout this song. Ba 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. It's just like this haunting little ghost. You know, like in a horror movie, but like a horror movie of like ghost kids or something like that. You know, sometimes there's that little lullaby or, you know, the hauntingly children's voices that are echoing in the dark hallway, and they're like, la, like la 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 la, or something like that. They're singing something like that. That melody there, it kind of echoes something kind of similar, where it sounds kind of lullaby-esque in the tone of it, but the melody even, there's something about it, but it's almost like it's slightly malformed. It's slightly like off just a little bit. There's something a little uncanny about it. And I'm listening to the tone of those keys specifically, and I thought it was really cool because you could hear in that tone that there's almost like this light musical box-esque quality to it. Like, I'm sure I can, it's a right? If you listen to the tone when it's playing, it has that very light, almost kalimba kind of quality. Like, it's very clean and it has a certain pitch, and I like that tone. It's very satisfying. But there's something about the way that they've performed it where that tone is just slightly rusted, slightly off. And I mean slightly. And it works so well in the mood of this track, especially as, you know, the guitar is strumming along with this really strong melody. Eventually, halfway through to the end, the violin and strings come in and just kind of lift it a little bit, kind of create a darkness, a shadow that begins to encompass it. And yet, as I've said with the previous tracks, for as dark and haunting as it may be, it's also incredibly beautiful and satisfying and kind of light. It's a good balance between dark and light. You have a good chiaroscuro in here, just like the technique. And you do have other musicians, as you heard, of like the violin and stuff. Ivan King, Jane Scarpatoni, and Skuli Severson, hope I pronounced all of them correctly, playing violin, viola, cello, bass. You have them involved here. So that kind of adds that chamber aspect into the music as well, which they are doing a fantastic job of. This is kind of this is an album that has a lot of different aspects to it and a lot of different sounds to it. And like the first three tracks that we've listened to, yeah, they follow a certain sound, but it really does feel like a very unique sound to them, you know? And I think they've done a fantastic job. The drums, once again, the percussion, very strong from the opening, from the outset. And like I mentioned during the track, I love how with the actual drum meter, how at the end, there's that speed up, which also leads itself into a little bit of another speed up in the beginning of each meter before it settles back into its pace. So rhythmically, it's always keeping this interesting, you know, ba, ba, ba. Hold on, let me pull it up. See? Isn't that so cool how that's done? Like, it's just a really cool, like from a rhythmically composition point of view, how that's done. Like, and it just keeps it that much more interesting. It adds a flow. It's like going down a river. There's a little waterfall, like a small one, on your raft, and then it flows back into the river. Then it gives another little waterfall. You're white river rafting here with blonde redhead. She knows I can't read. She knows I can't write. But these are the letters from melody. Show me how to read. Show me how to write. These are the things you can do for me. So when I was first listening and reading these lyrics with the song, I was thinking that maybe this is also related once again to the accident, and maybe this is going through therapy to, of course, relearn the things that maybe she couldn't do. Maybe she couldn't speak after. It says that she had to relearn to sing. Whoops. I see on the Wikipedia here, I was just glancing at this, a lot of the lyrics reflect Makino's accident. Here it says 2003. Horseback accident, which required facial reconstructive surgery and months of rehab, right? And relearning how to sing. So when I read these lyrics, that's what I'm kind of thinking. I can't read, I can't write. Show me how to do these things. And then she says, but these are the letters from melody. Who or what is melody, or what do they represent? Or because it just could be just musical melody. Why did you kill that poor old man? Melody. Why did you kill that poor old man? Melody. She said, so we're personifying melody, he was never good to me. He was never kind to me. Tell me how she dressed that day. My melody. Don't show me how she touched her face. My melody. She said, I would never do it again. Give me another chance. I said, why didn't you come to me? I said, why didn't you talk to me? So melody, in its personification, is saying, I killed this poor old man. He was never good to me. He was never kind to me. And she's saying, well, I would never do it again. Give me another chance. Why didn't you come to me? Why didn't you talk to me? So it's almost acting like a murder, right? I mean, it is. That's what's being said and displayed, talked about. But what does it all represent? I feel like this is a big personification here. And I guess the music does kind of capture a certain murder mystery kind of atmosphere to it if you think about it. But I feel like there's more to it. I feel like this is not as straightforward as it's lending itself to be. And maybe it could be talking about a lot of different things. Like, I couldn't help but think about the horse accident here. And at first I was thinking maybe melody is the horse or representative of that. Give me another chance. I'll never do it again. Don't show me how she touched her face, my melody. So there's abuse here, right? He was never good to me. He was never kind to me. Yeah. So there's abuse, I think, also involved. Maybe that's all it is actually about. She knows I can't. She knows I can't read. So, but these are the letters from Melody. So Melody sent her letters, even though she says I can't read, I can't write. But Melody sent her the letters anyway. And she said, show me how to read, show me to write. And that way she can read these letters from Melody. And that way she knows now I'm sure that Melody was writing to her about the abuse happening. I got you. Give me one of these. I got it.
Clap.
I got you. Just had to take a second. Sometimes I have to look at it and not talk. Like, I know I'm doing a video, I gotta talk. But sometimes I just need to read it for myself. Okay. I think I'm picking up what's being put down. Next track, Doll Is Mine. Here we go. It's upbeat choppiness.
Mine is an act of love. Mine is a wish to solve. And mine is to sing by your side. You are to be amused, and you're never to be confused in your first love. of sin, too much skin, much more than I needed to win, much more than I've wanted to dream. I must have felt so much pain. It's funny how some things do remain. It isn't true.
I like the way the bass plays in here,
Things would change. Isn't it strange?
working with the mood.
How pain remains, but don't look so sad, 'cause it isn't sad. Now that I have you
Little
to
hits.
myself, why adore? So they tell me, 'cause she's mine, faith and fully mine. I must say, this
It's a nice
love
pickup.
hasn't changed me, 'cause I feel fine, faith and fully fine.
Okay, I know Melody is the track that was talking about murder, but this song actually sounded like it. This song really sounded it. This sounded like a crime had just taken place, and we are watching a TV show and watching the details of how it happened and learning about who did it. Like this is that dramatic reveal of the crime that happened. In this track, I was listening to every single element. I was trying to pick out what everyone was doing here and who was like, how were they building this sound? How are they, what colors were everyone using to put together this particular palette that the song is built off of? And it's kind of really interesting. So like the guitar, you hear the guitar kind of distorted and scratching, bam, bam, like just kind of sporadically and very spaced out playing with a scratchy distorted sound that kind of lends itself to a dark heaviness, right? Then the bass was kind of doing something similar. And like, it's really interesting how those two elements are spaced out. They're not like strumming continuously. They're not like, playing continuous melodies, single notes, just kind of bum, bum chords, or with the bass, just a quick bum, bum. And the way that those thump in the music, it kind of acts like steps, like walking. The strings, the violin and everything act like the creaky floor that the guitar and the bass are walking on top of. But those are continuous. And it's just like, obviously that's not sounding like a creaky floor, but to me, the way that I think about it, it kind of plays like that. And then Aquino, she is who's walking through it. So all of these elements kind of act like someone walking, to me, through either a haunted house, a murder scene, or something like that. The steps of the guitar and bass, the singing from Aquino, and then the creaky floorboards of the strings all act and bring about this very gloomy, kind of gothic-y kind of sound that is just built off of mysteriousness and, to me, like a little bit of like the supernatural. I think it's just a really cool atmosphere that the band is ever to pull together here that is as strange as it is, like I said, deeply alluring. And I wouldn't say inviting, but there's something pulling me in. And I love the drums, once again, the percussion, especially the second half, where we have that change, where it kind of starts to ride a little bit on there and gives a little bit of a swing. And it's interesting how just that little change adds so much more urgency. And there's another word for urgency that I'm thinking of, but there's a certain quickness and a rapidity. Is that a word? We're going to use it to the end before it all just kind of halts and eats out. That's a really great way of like performing and building this track. They do a great job of building the song, not through solos and breaks and choruses, not through that, but they build the song in a more organic kind of way. They build the song off of itself rather than relying, at least in these cases, so much on typical composition of and structure of, verse, chorus kind of thing. I don't. They've built it very much differently. Almost like to an extent, kind of folky in spirit, I would say. Mine is an act of love. Mine is a wish to solve. And mine is to sink by your side. You are to be amused, and you are never to be confused in your first love, your first time. Why a doll, so they tell me, 'cause she is mine, faith and fully mine. I must say this love hasn't changed me, 'cause I feel fine, faith and fully fine. I must have seen too much skin, much more than I needed to win, and much more than I wanted to dream. I must have felt so much pain. It's funny how some things do remain. It isn't true that some things or that things do change. But isn't it strange how pain remains? Okay. It isn't true that things do change. It's strange how pain remains. So things never change and the pain stays as well. But don't look so sad because it isn't sad. Now that I have you to myself. Why a doll, so they tell me, because she is mine, faith and fully mine. I must say, this love hasn't changed me because I feel fine. Is it a literal doll, or is it someone that this person is treating as a doll? Which I can't help but look at the album cover. I can't help but feel that. I mean, this to me looks like an old Western. Like, you know, you go out west and there's the saloon, and then there's Miss Kitty. You know, at the remember from Gunsmoke, or like, you know, something like that. I mean, she's inviting, right? She's doing a hitherto. She's doing one of these, you know. And when I see that hand, that's like hiking up, you know. So could this in relation be to this? Is it that kind of doll? Mine is an act of love, is a wish to solve. Like someone has a wish, someone has a desire, someone has a want, and it is hers to solve that want. She is the doll. This is from the perspective of perhaps a prostitute. You are never to be confused in your first love, your first time. Right? Why a doll? Why did you choose this? Or maybe they're asking the person. I don't know. Who are they asking? Why also tell me? She is mine, fully mine. Stuff hasn't changed me. I feel fine. Or maybe they're asking the John, so to speak. Why a doll? I must have seen too much skin, more than I need to win, more than I wanted to dream. I must have felt so much pain. The pain of both? Is this kind of for like both of their pains in a sense? The numbness of fulfilling this desire without the love, is that what they're feeling? And vice versa for the woman who's this is just a job. Let me look. Doll is mine is the account of an unnamed narrator justifying his/her desire for a second character identified as doll. The unnamed narrator justifies his/her desire for doll by objectifying doll, only acknowledging his or her well-being. So it's the end of the song. When doll's feelings about the relationship with the narrator are revealed, they are readily dismissed by the narrator. I think this track relates to the album cover. If I had to choose, I feel like there's always at least one track that can relate to the album cover, and I feel like this one is it. It's really, really great album so far. Okay, now, just like I said in the beginning, in case somehow you skipped or you missed it or whatever, I actually already recorded a reaction to the title track, Misery is a Butterfly. So I'm going to edit that into this album reaction because I had that song and that reaction scheduled for like 2 weeks from now. But it just so happened that Otherwise had sponsored this reaction. So we're going to put it all together. So you're going to hear me in that little edit that comes in, say like, I've never heard of the band and this is my first time here. You understand the context. So we'll go ahead and edit that and then we will continue on from there. So I will see you soon. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope that you're having a lovely one out there today. We're going to take a listen to Blonde Redhead. We're going to listen to this particular track, Misery is a Butterfly, which is the title track from their album, of course, of the same name, released in 2004. The track specifically wasn't necessarily recommended by anyone, but there were quite a few people who had mentioned the band Blonde Redhead in the comments, such as Mr. Crew Crushin'. I don't know what that says, Hob something. I apologize. And I don't know what that says either. IOINIIPIAILIAITNII. I'm sorry. But you guys had at least mentioned the group. And we've never listened to them before. I don't know anything about them. I've never heard of the band besides you guys in the comments. So we're going to go ahead and dive in, give them a first listen here. Not Elephant Woman, I also clicked the wrong track. Misery is a Butterfly. Here we go. That down tempo feel too.
Tears, Jane, I should've known better, but I couldn't say hello. I don't know why, but now I think you were sad. Yes, you are, you are, you are.
I love the piano with that strong melody like a backbone, and the strings wavering in and out. Her voice is very interesting. I need more time with it. Love that piano melody.
What I say only to you, 'cause I love and I love only you.
I like how the guitar has this kind of indie rock feel to it. So dry.
Tears, Jane, I want to give you a dream that no one has given you. Remember when we found misery? We watched the strength, how it and slowly
I thought that was a wonderful sound. I love their very dramatic, slightly cinematic down tempo feel that they have. That's like also not just strictly like, I would say that this is kind of trip hop adjacent, right? But at the same time, I thought that in the verse when the guitar came in, it kind of added a little bit of an indie rock flavor just underneath, which I thought was really cool because it didn't really need it. But when it came in, I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting to toss it into a track like this, which is so down tempo, and maybe I'm just so stuck on that trip hop lane where I'm not really expecting guitar like that to show up, and yet it does. It's kind of like how, okay, biggest song, Massive Attack, Angel, one of the biggest trip hop songs that everyone knows, right? The way it moves, you get it, it moves in its repetition, its cycle. But then when it gets to that ending, when the guitar comes in, it's like, oh, I didn't know it was going to get into that kind of territory. While not to the same extent, this track does something similar when that guitar comes in. I just didn't expect it to kind of move into that territory a little bit, but I really, really enjoyed that. The strings have this noir kind of feel to it, which I think adds this element of drama and cinematic tension that the music has. And the lead singer, that's going to be Kazu Makino, lead vocalist, playing also clavinet, guitar, string arrangements, programming, and etc. I wanted to give it a little bit with her voice. And I really like the kind of unique sound that it adds into here because she has a higher pitch kind of range, and it's not like a, how do I describe this? It's not like an airy, light kind of sound, but at the same time it is. But it comes across, I don't even know how to say it. It doesn't come across light, airy, fluffy, heavenly, not in that particular regard. There's something, while her range in this particular track is higher, like those words I just used, there's something more earthy about it. The way that she holds her notes aren't as, I don't know, fairy-like. I don't know why that's what's coming up into my mind. There's something more earthy about her voice, even though her range is giving heaven or giving something higher. I like that though. It took me a second, but I like that. It does make this sound a little bit more unique. And for at least someone like myself, this is my first time listening to the band. It just gives it that little bit of difference, an almost beautiful disharmony as opposed to the music, which draws me in more. I like that a lot. You also have the band made up of Amadeo Pace, also on vocals, not here in particular, but guitar, baritone guitar, programming, string arrangements, and Simon Pace on drums, percussion, and more arrangements. So a tight-knit group that creates a really cool sound. Of course, you have it accented by, the strings, which are some other musicians coming in as well. But this was a really cool track. I like how, okay, when did I say this released? 2004? Portishead was around at this time. I don't like to compare bands so much if I don't have to, but this kind of feels like if you like Portishead, you like this track at least. Probably the band, I would assume, as a whole to an extent. But I like how this gives something different while still kind of treading that similar territory, I would say. Dearest Jane, I should have known better. I couldn't say hello. I don't know why. But now I think you were sad. Yes, you were. You were. What I say only to you because I love and I love only you. Dearest Jane, I want to give you a dream that no one has ever given you. Remember when we found Misery, we watched her spread her wings and slowly fly around our room, and she asked for your gentle mind. Misery as a butterfly, her heavy wings will warp your mind with her small ugly face and her long antenna and her black and pink heavy wings. Misery as a butterfly that will wrap around her mind. And I mean, I guess you could argue that the if you zoom in into a butterfly's face, I guess you could say it's not as pretty as the wings surrounding it, kind of like that SpongeBob episode. I think they're kind of pretty though, in their own little way. Remember when we found Misery, we watched her, like a butterfly, watched her spread her wings and slowly fly around our room. And she asked for your gentle mind. Like your mind was a flower, and this Misery, like a butterfly, would want to feed off of your gentle mind. Now, what is this track about in particular? Anything here? Obviously, it's the title track. Let's see. Before I click on those annotations, nothing in particular here. So let's click on these. Maybe we'll get some Some info. Past tense is used because Jane's gone. Nope, no, yes, we know. Many people who are sad and who have been through traumatic experiences struggle with imagining the future. The singer, having realized that Jane is suffering, wants to help her imagine the future in a way that she hasn't experienced before. I get that. I thought, honestly, I was thinking the Dearest Jane may have been more of like a reference to something specific rather than just the general themes of, wanting to give you hope, wanting to inspire you and move you out of this misery, out of this particular situation that you're facing. But I get it. We watched her together. We watched this misery together, and now it's time that we escape this particular butterfly net, if you will. Let me know what you guys thought of the song. Choked. Let me know what you thought of the song in the comments below. I appreciate you all watching and hopefully enjoying the music and myself. Thank you so much, and please come back tomorrow, and I hope to hear from you all then, guys. Bye. All right, and now that you've heard my actual first reaction to the band, I went and turned the fan on. I'm actually starting to, little by little, get a little warm. Let's move on to the next track here on the album. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you enjoyed that first reaction. Let's move on to the next one. Falling Man. Here we go.
Tell me how you seek your man. You tell me all your secret spells. You tell me how you learned to tell by his voice that he fell. I know a ghost can walk through walls, yet I am just a man still learning how to fall.
Good chord progression. I love that very light piano.
Try to reimagine me, and I'll reinvent myself. Still I remember scenes of when you looked at someone else.
It's very aggressive.
I know a ghost can walk through the wall, yet I am just a man still learning how to fall. If you start
God, that's
doubting
right.
me, then I start to doubt myself. Never look through me, 'cause I keep close to myself. I know a ghost can walk through the wall, yet I am just a man still learning how to fall.
It's a nice sing-song at that particular moment. This is a really awesome album.
I am what I am and what
I knew it was coming, just didn't know how.
who I am. I know what I know, and all I know is that I fell. If only I could walk through the wall, then maybe I would tell you who I was. That I am just a man still learning how to fall. That I'm just a man still learning how to fall.
This band and listening to this album was kind of reminding me of Joy Hotel and like discovering something completely new and to me sounding very, very unique and just like wholly unto themselves. They are their own band. They are their own sounds. And this track is so cool in like how it brings about this relentlessness, of course, rhythmically, right? The drums are, in its own way, a lot more aggressive than previously heard. Aggressive, right? In the scope of this album, they're definitely more forward thinking, I would say, much more strongly played. This time, the subtleties of the percussions are gone, and now we are just straight hammering away, basically. And I love the power that comes through in that. And then how the singing, how he kind of, his voice is kind of like whispery and wispy. That's the word I'm thinking. Wispy. It just kind of floats throughout. His voice and pitch is very high. And it's interesting how he kind of daintily dances around that kind of aggressive rhythm. Once again, a nice contrast of shadow and light, I feel. The guitar I'm listening to again kind of plays a different rhythm as well. Kind of playing what I mentioned before on the other track, how it's kind of like ba bam, ba bam, ba bam, ba bam, ba bam, ba bam, ba bam. It's very melodic, but there is a heaviness to it. But he's not using pedals that would make the song like heavy metal. Although you could argue the chords that he's playing lend itself to that sound. And so because he's not going over into that edge, because he's not stepping over that Rubicon, it still keeps a little bit of this mellowness, a little bit of that, I always forget how to say this word. I don't use it enough. Mellifluousness, however, you know what I'm talking about. It still has that kind of flowing nature to it. And then the hits that come about in the rhythm, the ba-bum, 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 ba-da, da-da, da-da, da-da. Once again, it's kind of reminding me and giving me like a little bit of a gothic nature to me. Like, it makes me think of like a cathedral with a big bell at the top. And there's something about those chords and the way that they're hit that ring, that really ring out. And then the piano melody is once again just kind of lightly sprinkled on top of this, just to, like I mentioned before, kind of give it this silvery vein that kind of goes through the song and gives it this really interesting direction for as simple as it is. You know, remember in Tyrion from Game of Thrones, how I think one of his big quotes was, I don't remember how it goes, but a small man can cast big shadows or something like that. That's what I'm feeling with the piano line in here. It's small in the scope of the music and in the scope of this song, but it's casting a big shadow. And I just think that is really cool. The band just has like a lot of great nuance to what they do, how they perform, and it just shows incredibly well. I think it's just absolutely brilliant how they perform. Let's look at these lyrics. Tell me how you seek your man and tell me all your secret spells. Tell me how you learn to tell by his voice that he fell. I know a ghost will walk through walls, yet I am just a man still learning to fall. And I guess the music does have this kind of falling rhythm. There is a descent happening, right, with that, the gravitas that's pulling us down. I guess that actually makes sense with the drums and how they're handled. Try to reimagine me and I'll reinvent myself. Still, I remember scenes of when you looked at someone else. If you start doubting me, then I start to doubt myself. And never look through me, because I'll keep close to myself. I am what I am. I love how it comes down, and then it just shocks with how it comes back with this final conclusive statement. I am what I am, and what I am is who I am. I know what I know, and all I know is that I fell. If only I could walk through walls, then maybe I could tell you who I was. Yet I'm just a man still learning to fall. He's still learning to fall. He's still learning to lose, to descend, and he can't quite walk through walls. If he could, then he says he could tell you who he was, but he can't walk through walls, so he doesn't know who he is. He's still learning to fall. He has a lot of self-doubt, a little lack of self-confidence. It says this is the wish of the guy to become a replica of a person that calls attention of a girl. He just wants to change so she can look at him in a more serious way, even if he's not himself. Man, I wish I could have wrote that. that fall in love. Okay, that's what I was thinking of, fall in love, but I do see broadly as coming to terms with your flaws and failures and wanting to change into something else, which you could argue leading into the album name, which I did have a thought. Misery is a butterfly. He's falling, he's changing. The album is in many respects talking about change. Of course, a butterfly goes through several changes, and that is the final stage of that change. Also, the album title is Misery is a Butterfly. The butterfly is the last stage of, the caterpillar, the cocoon, and then the butterfly. The butterfly is the end. Misery is the end. I think that's kind of interesting. Misery isn't the cocoon that you're in that you get out of and you grow out of it into something more beautiful. Misery is the end. Misery is the conclusion. I just think that that's kind of worth noting when looking at the album. Let's go ahead and move on into the next track, which is Anticipation.
Anticipate, unevaluate what he sold and what I sold
This
before.
keyboard line is very cool. It's echoey.
You're broken like me,
It's very airy
like
sounding.
me before. Dark place is your place. I take dark drive to your place. You're staring me.
I like how the bass is bending around.
You're staring me with your inside eyes. Knowing you, knowing me. We're deeply sorry. You're broken. Maybe it didn't happen. No, maybe all of this will go away. And if we ever young again, he anticipate will evaluate.
Love that little pickup. Such a nice, mellow solo. Just that little bit of the ending in Anticipation with I couldn't exactly tell you what those sounds were, but it kind of gave me the same feeling as Low, who we've been recently listening to, with these kind of, I don't know, intimate electronic or production, I don't want to say tricks, but feelings that the music kind of dives into. It makes it personal. It gives kind of like a life and a body to some of the electronics and the synths and the keyboard sounds and everything. The band has such a unique flavor to them. They really do have this really cool environment that they build into, like the mood in this one, it's dense, but it's also airy at the same time. We once again have a similar thing that we mentioned before with one little line of keys that are in there. And it has kind of this interesting kind of sound that, I don't know, it kind of a much more synthy kind of key sound, but it builds off of that with a lot of kind of a little bit of crunchy echo or something on that, which I think is really cool. Her voice is just ethereal. She has a certain aura and an air about her, and I think her air wonderfully dances on this particular crystal clear lake of the music. It just has this ambience to it that I think I can't help but think of it. It's dense, but it's airy. It's like a perfect slice of cake in how it's performed. And then the moment about halfway through when it kind of empties out and it kind of builds this little ecosystem, I would say, this little musical ecosystem where you have these little bits of, I couldn't say exactly what, but it could just be guitar, but like something a little sharper but lighter, like maybe mandolin or zither or some sort of stringed instrument that's so lightly being played. It's almost just barely being touched. And the little bits of life that form in that section musically is kind of like looking at a petri dish and looking at it in a microscopic kind of level and watching everything kind of grow. I really love when bands do that, when they have a theme and they break it down and they into something like microscopic. Like here, you have this kind of pan flute kind of sound that's being played. A little bit of strings keeping that momentum, keeping a heartbeat, and almost like a little kalimba or something there. Isn't that kind of cool? And then, of course, you have the strings that are kind of working back and forth. To me, it's really cool how that almost becomes this microscopic little microcosm of intimacy, and how they build this back up into the guitar, which comes back, kind of replaying the main theme from before, but kind of lending itself now more to a solo, a very satisfying one at that point to end things off. This is just, I'm really impressed by this album and the direction that it's taking, and it's just a really good album to listen to. Anticipate and evaluate what he thought and what I thought before. You're broken like me before. So anticipate, of course, you're looking forward to something, you're waiting for something, and then evaluate. That is the present. That is the time to look at it. Dark place is your place. I take dark drives to your place. You're staring me. You're staring me with your inside eyes. With your inside eyes, you're looking deeper into me. Knowing you, knowing me, we're deeply sorry. You're broken, maybe, baby. Maybe it didn't happen. No, maybe all this would go away. And if we're ever young again, he'll anticipate. We'll evaluate. So, do you think perhaps she's speaking from a different point of view? At first, she's saying from her point of view, she's anticipating and evaluating. And at the end, next time, he will be the one anticipating. Maybe it didn't happen. No, maybe all this would go away. What would go away? Are these feelings left over? Are these the remnants of a relationship? Are these the ashes of amour? I was trying to do a little, I was trying to be, what's the word? You know what I mean. First letters of every word. I forgot now what it's called. I take dart drives to yeah, because I take dart drives to your place. So there's a change. She's anticipating because she takes the dart drive to his place. Next time, he will anticipate, and then we'll evaluate. I get it. It's a little bit of a back and forth. I see what we're doing there. I like that. I like the way that's written because it's, to me, it's okay. She's going over to his place. Hold on, I got it.
Oh my!
I do a little. I muted my thing. Hold on. How do I unmute? Unmute. All right, go over there.
Oh my!
Right. She goes there.
My.
They evaluate. Where are we? And then she says, next time he's coming over, he will anticipate. I'm gonna make him wait.
Oh my! Oh my!
And then we'll evaluate again. It's a give and take. Next track, Maddening Cloud. You stare up into the clouds. What do you see? I haven't looked up in the clouds in a while. Actually, never mind, that's a stupid story. There was some cool clouds a week ago. It was like a huge thing. People were taking pictures everywhere. Anyways, here we go.
Sure, you can look back at the memes moving on and you can take me back, but you must come home.
Jazzy swing.
In a maddening cloud.
gentle tension there.
And he stands like he doesn't see. He must be scared and far too lost.
That bass line's kind of maddening.
And then over we must have glanced, face to face, we've had to dance. We're both in a maddening cloud. You sure you can step back if it means moving on, and you can take me back, but you must be alone. You can choke and smoke and rock my mind. And she says, I can feel my tongue. She must be alone and far too cold.
Build up in the drums.
And he
It's that swing again.
stands like he doesn't see. He must be scared and far too lost.
There's the release. Maddening Cloud is a great title for this track because I feel like this track could have been named solely based off the feel. Because yes, it is maddening in its rhythm, in this tension that is fluffy like a cloud, but it's still maddening. There's something There's still something tense to it that makes you kind of anxious. But at the same time, it's fluffy, it's dense, you know? And the swing of the music is really heavy-handed as well. Ba da 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 ba 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 ba. Like that's really cool. And then the way he sings on top of that, to me, kind of reminds me of this merry-go-round that is kind of going off the rails. Like, you know, the merry-go-round is supposed to go at a certain speed, a certain pace. Everyone gets on top. The kids are on there. Everyone's happy. But the operator is some crazy clown, and he's cranked the lever back, and it's going into the red, and I think it's starting to spin a little bit. And there's something like a ride gone wrong, an amusement gone wrong in this track. I could have rhymed and said an amusement gone wrong in this song, because there is something delightful about the melody. There's something absolutely gorgeous and kind of maybe even innocent about some of it. The backing vocals that he overlays himself with, you know, it all is very chill on one hand, but because of the tempo, because of the swing of it, because of the way he's singing, you know, that higher range is lending itself to me to something a little bit more stress-inducing in a pleasant way. It makes the whole track feel maddening and yet cloudy at the same time because of its atmosphere. And kind of like the previous track, well, not this previous track, but Falling Man, and how I said that kind of felt like falling. This actually even feels more like falling and descent and just coming down. It's, you know, this is when it rains, it pours. And I thought, let me pull it back up here. The ending when this happens here, because the album features violin and viola and cello and stuff, it's not really so much in this track, but it does have a little bit of a symphonic kind of feel to it, I would say. Like here, the orchestra would not sound out of place at all, adding a little bit of more aggression to it. And yet at the same time, they didn't need it because they made this sound all on their own. I think that they did a a great job of doing that. I almost said a bang up job, but I don't use that phrase. It's not my vocabulary. A bang up job. Sure, you can look back if it means moving on. And you can take me back, but you must come home. We are both in a maddening cloud. We are both in a haze. We don't know which way we're going, but you gotta move forward. You can touch me there, just don't leave me alone. You can call me softly when I dream and ask for more. This kind of lyrically almost relates to the previous song in a way. You can slow and fold and mold my mind. Nice rhyme in there. And she said, I can't feel my toes, and she must be alone and far too cold. Kind of like me. And he stares like he doesn't see. He must be scared and far too lost. He stares like he doesn't see. The like in there implies that he does see. Under and over we must have glanced, face to face we had to dance. We're both in a maddening cloud. No one knows which way to go. Sure, you can step back if it means moving on. For us, look back. If it means moving on, you can take me back, but you must be alone. Interesting. You can take me back, but you must be alone. Okay, like in a relationship, right? Like, you got to be alone. Single. You can choke and smoke and rock my mind. She said, I can't feel my toes. She must be alone, right? Far too cold. He stares like he doesn't see. He must be scared and far too lost. Is he scared to re-involve himself with this person? And is she scared to be alone? And are they a match made in heaven? Or are they just in the clouds? I should have said, do they just have their head in the clouds? That was close. Let's move on to the next track, Magic Mountain. As if you couldn't get any higher, we're going just a little bit lower, up to Magic Mountain. The air is thin up here, apparently. I just wanted to see how it was leading in. I love the absolute the soundscape that's built in here, not just from the very much more introspective and reflective nature of the lyrics and how she's singing, the sound of everything, those melodies which are just kind of evenly paced, just kind of ploddingly walking up and trudging up this magic mountain, so to speak. Beautiful as they are, there's a heaviness, there's a burden that those notes and those melodies are carrying up this mountain, that she's carrying and keeping with her on this magic mountain. I love how the melodies really have a nice sense of that. But behind all that, deeply under that, there's almost this, in the beginning, there's this air. To me, that's the thinness of the air on this mountain. Perhaps she shouldn't be alone on this mountain, proverbially and symbolically of what it represents. But the air sound also kind of, it makes it cold. It makes it makes you chill. And then underneath the beginning of the music, it almost sounds like there's this, I don't know exactly, but this light rumbling of sorts. And I feel like that's representative of the mountain itself. Not saying that there's an earthquake or an avalanche or something like that, but there's a rumble happening on this mountain. Perhaps something is disturbing this mountain, her shelter, her place. We'll talk about that. Then at the end, you have that, I don't even know what instrument that was, to be honest. That it already sounds kind of weird. I really couldn't tell you what that instrument is at the very end. Let me pull it back here. This. Because at first I thought it was voices, like people's yelling, but then the way it pitches down and sustains, I'm actually unsure of what that is. But the way that it's left alone, unsheltered, and the way that it begins to waver and pitch down and eventually kind of fade off and die away, I think also kind of lends itself to the lyrics and the feeling, the emotion that's at the heart of the lyrics. But this is a very beautiful, kind of solemn, like I said, introspective, looking to herself, personal piece of music. And I think the music wonderfully captures all that. The middle section was especially beautiful. Here. The picking picks up a little bit more. And the way she hauntingly and desperately trails off there, doesn't even finish her sentence, and it just kind of fades away. I think there's the chords that come, well, the guitar playing that comes in at that particular moment as opposed to the beginning feels like it's trying to warm itself, but it just can't quite do it. Just can't quite do it. There's just something very mystical about this track and the mountain. At Magic Mountain, nobody sings today. Nobody speaks today. Close my eyes and hope to see. Weeks go by like a day in a lowland. I live up on Magic Mountain. No one leaves Magic Mountain. Okay, so she lives up here, so to speak, and no one leaves it. At Magic Mountain, nothing changes. Everything stays the same. That's why it's magic. Cross my heart and hope to live all the time with a little fever. With a little fever, with a little heat. Is something to keep her warm, but it's still not good for her. I stay here on Magic Mountain. No one leaves magic, and of course, like I said, she doesn't even finish her sentence there. My heart hears you sing, my heart hears you speak, but I never make it to the flatlands. I must stay on Magic Mountain. Too afraid to come down. Someone that lives on a mountain, especially what I imagine, near the top of the mountain, it's a hard place to get to, it's a hard place to stay, it's a hard place to live, and you're not going to have many visitors. She's staying up there. She's not leaving up there. Nothing changes up there for her. She's going to live up there. It may not be great, but she's warm, even if it's going to be with a little fever. She hears him. She hears him speak, but she says she never makes it down to the flatlands. She has to stay on this mountain. Why does she have to stay on this mountain? Why does she want to stay on this mountain? That's something that only she could speak for. But I think that the emotion captured there is just... I think this is just such a good album. That's all I have to say. That is all I have to say. Very personal, very poetic, and the music surrounding it's just really wonderfully performed. Pink Love. This one might be a little more direct. It's kind of sonar sounds kind of happening around. Echo on the snare, like a ping. together. Everything pulses in this track.
It's not just a fairy tale that's painted by me. It's not just a loneliness between you and I.
I like that warping, pitching kind of synth behind it.
You can breathe, then stay. Don't look back to the blue of the sky. Stole all the petals I'm holding down, pushing their way through open clouds. So many polka dots painted, baby, space over universe for you and I want to kiss pink
Submerged. They switched very evenly, perfectly.
It's not just a loneliness between you and I. You found magic mountain. You find you can breathe and stay. Don't look back to the blue of the sky.
Now we got it.
Of petals I'm pouring down, pushing their way through open clouds. So many polka dots painted, maybe space over universe for you and I want to kiss pink
This is the track. This is the climax of the album. I'm sure the next track will be the resolution if it's going to follow typical plot points. It was a movie. But this is the longest track on the album. It's the second to the last track on the album. But this is that watershed moment. One, we have, unless I've missed it, this is the this is like I said, unless I really missed it, this is like basically the only track for the most part that both of them are featured on, that they're directly singing with one another, and they are directly singing with one another. This is a constant climax. The way that they're both singing is just urgency, urgency, urgency. This is it's like I said, that watershed moment on the album, and I couldn't tell you exactly if it's a thematic album or a concept album, but it definitely carries certain themes with it, weighing itself throughout this whole track. There's even a reference to Magic Mountain. Come on, as if you needed any clearer, any more clear notes or anything. But this is like the culmination of everything that this album and the musicians have been building up to. It's constant, it is relentless, it feels satisfying in its complexity, but also in the way that it all just culminates in the end. And so, like I said, this end. This is the crowning. Didn't need to use that word. And I just think that that's so cool how they're both here. Now, I want to dive into the lyrics though, because I feel like they have some things to say. This is that relationship. This is that conversation. This is the moment. Remember the anticipate and evaluate? This song is that evaluation. I won't bind my strings to you, but build my world besides you, right? Next to you. We're not going to be connected, but I'll build it besides you. Watching you draw a line. Some say you are, just like a butterfly whose broken wings will spread to softly feel your mood. Butterfly. Misery. Broken wings, the misery is spreading. He doesn't want to connect because perhaps he doesn't want to feel her misery. Come on, there's a lot to look into. Over the blue, blue sky full of you, pink love, just like a fairy tale. She says, my only reason naturally starts to get to me. Pushing my way through mesh of life, I want to kiss the sickness of my mind. My heart without reason, sunk into deep disappointment, spreads over the universe with a knife. I want to bleed out distress like this. Those broken wings, right? She admits it. He says it's not just a fairy tale, it's painted by me. It's not just a loneliness between you and I. If on Magic Mountain you find you can breathe, then stay and don't look back to the blue woven sky. If you're good up there, then stay. You don't need to come down to me. If you're happy up there and you can breathe fine, do it. Just a little bit of fever, she replies. Storms of petals are pouring down, pushing their way through our pink love. So many polka dots painted by me spreads over universe for you. I want to kiss, pink love, I want to kiss. In my mind, I state myself, the clock is ticking without you. Some may say illness, so-called love, the sickness of the mind. So she's sick, feverish with love. He repeats, of course, you don't have to come down basically for me. And she repeats. So like this is really the culmination, like I said, of their relationship. And they are directly speaking now to each other. I'm not speaking to the band members. I'm not speaking to Amadeo and Kazu because I don't know anything about them. But at least here in the music, they're speaking as if in a relationship or working through it. And I think the way that the song presents it is on one hand very direct. On the other hand, it still keeps an air of poetry about it, which I think, lends itself to just a little bit of crypticism, but not so much, It's real and natural, but still steeped in art. And that's a hard balance, I think, to maintain and to create in the first place. Let us move on into the final track of the album, Equus. Hope I pronounced that correctly. Equus. Funky hold. Scully's now getting it in, huh?
Sometimes I think I must just let you be a host. All I want is to be a writer, to be part of. Allow me to show you the way
And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Blonde Redhead, Misery is a Butterfly complete album reaction. Fish, sink, line, and hooker. I don't know how that. So we end on a definitely much more upbeat ending here. You know, this is definitely much more happy, more energetic, and just determined. You know, let me show you how I love you. And okay, like to me, this is like now we're directly moving into like a straight kind of rock and roll style, right? Gone are all the dilly dallies. No. Let's just take the microphone. Let's just put it down. Let's just put this down. And sounds great. Sounds energetic. It's fun. Guitar riff's fun. It ends it. Like, I miss some of the sophistication from the album, but like we got 10 tracks of that. Let them rock out a little bit. Sounds good. But can I tell you, obviously the lyrics are still in reference to the horse accident. There's no doubt about that. But could I argue that maybe they're still related to the relationship from before? Hear me out. Allow me to show you the way in which I adore you. Allow me to show you the way in which I adore you. That kind of works. Sometimes I think I must just let you be a horse. All I want is to be a rider, to be part of you. Still kind of works. Like, okay, we obviously know that this is about the horse accident, but let's take it the other way. Let me reach a little bit. Let me reach a moment. Let you be a horse. You know, when you think of wild horses, you think of horses that are free, not saddled, unsaddled, unbridled. They are just roaming the plains. Beautiful, right? Like they're out on their own. Let them do their thing. Maybe she feels she should let him just be a horse in the plains, in the lowlands, not coming down from her magic mountain. You see what I'm doing there? All I want to do is be a rider, to be part of you. She just wants to be part of him. Sometimes I think I must just let you be. All I want is to be a rider, so afraid to lose you. If someone looks at you, turn into a donkey, pretend you are lame, like she doesn't want anyone else looking at him the same way that she sees him. If someone else sees him, hopefully they see a donkey, but she sees a stallion. Equus by nature, timid creature, ready to run away, cares nothing for the plans they made, right? Maybe they had made plans together. Well, he doesn't care for that. Equus, obviously horse, equestrian, ready to run away. She has to be careful not to startle him. Don't want to come on too strong. But then she makes a promise. I will hide you. I'll protect you. Won't let anyone take you away. Which, of course, once again, I'm thinking of the relationship aspect. But if we bring it down to the horse aspect, I don't know how this works. But maybe because the horse, hurt her. Is she worried that people will take away the horse or something? You know, there's a couple ways to look at this particular track, and I really think that you could really take either or on this one. This was a great album to listen to. This was a fantastic recommendation. I really enjoyed it. This felt new, like to me. I don't know about you guys, but it felt new to me, and it felt like very fresh. A very, very fresh album to listen to. Great album, L-wise, to recommend. Favorite tracks, I would definitely say Melody is my favorite track on the album. And I'd probably say Pink Love and Magic Mountain. I put Magic Mountain and Pink Love kind of together. They just feel so strongly connected to me, at least thematically. But I would definitely say Melody is my favorite song, and then Magic Mountain and Pink Love. But this is really just a fantastic album through and through. There is no doubt about that to me. L-wise, thank you so much. You live up to your name of being wise.
Please clap.
Thank you guys, as always, for the recommendations, for the suggestions, for the support on the Buy Me a Coffee, where if you'd like, you can sponsor a song request or even an album request if you'd like. You can, of course, Patreon, exclusive content. If you haven't already, liking and subscribing, that kind of thing. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you for spending some time with me, and I will see you all later. Bye, guys.